Good morning and welcome to City of Light. We're coming to you live from campus located at 3125 Presidential Parkway in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Reverend Dr. Paul Gretz, and it's a delight to share this Celebration Sunday with you. We're celebrating so many things, as today is truly a great anniversary. We're celebrating 4 years in our fantastic facility that is creating a dynamic spiritual center for all kinds of people coming together in collaboration and in great ministry. We're celebrating 5 years of our Emerson Institute, celebrating a teaching opportunity that is an extension on the East Coast of our mother school in Oakhurst, California. This teaching institute is offering all kinds of opportunities for spiritual enrichment and spiritual enlightenment for people seeking bachelor's, master's, doctorates of divinity, and spiritual studies. We're also celebrating 48 years of ministry here in Atlanta. We're excited to think about 48 years of incredible ministry of touching lives in a transforming way. I'm so glad you're here with us to celebrate this special occasion. Let's join together in welcoming one another with the words that we share each Sunday to describe our mission, message, and our work here at City of Light. Would you join with me? Welcome to City of Light. This is a place where people of like mind come together to recognize in Christ consciousness that there truly is only one power and ever present and all-knowing. We offer a positive and practical approach to a lifetime of spiritual growth. We know we are all spiritual beings having a physical experience in this world. We celebrate our diversity, welcoming everyone in unity. We know that how we act is the greatest expression of what we believe. So we live out our calling to be a light for the world, a light of love, truth, and understanding that is making a difference. And so it is. As we celebrate today, we welcome our very special guests, the Emerson Drummers, who are going to get the spirit of celebration going as we join in the rhythms of drumming that really create a vibration of joy, a vibration of great expectation, and a vibration of true power of the divine presence at work flowing in us, through us, and around us. Let's listen to the Emerson Drummers as we celebrate together.
Alubo, Sandomo, Alubo, Dalabari Dalubo, Alubo, Sandomo, Alubo, Dalabari Dalubo, Alubo, Sandomo, Alubo, Dalabari Dalubo, Alubo, Sandomo, Alubo, Dalabari Dalubo.
Thank you so much. It's a delight to welcome the Emerson Drummers to City of Light for this very special celebration. I'd like to invite Chuck Kuliandra, who is the director and the one in charge of this fantastic group, to come and join with me, if you would, please. I'd love to ask a little bit more and learn more about the Emerson Drummers. This is our continuing program of building connections with so many incredible ministries, programs that are out there in the world. Here at City of Light, what we're so passionate about is building collaborative collections and connections with so many people. It's our passion, and it's what we believe that we're called to do, for we believe together we can make a difference. So Chuck, tell us a little bit about the Emerson Drummers and drumming. Now, I grew up in Africa, and in Kenya, Tanzania, and Zanzibar, the drumming was so crucial to every celebration. And it was a way of calling people together to experience a sense of community. It was a way of signaling all kinds of great celebrations and messages even. So tell us about the spiritual work that you're doing with the Emerson Drummers.
Yes. Well, our music is from West Africa, traditional music. That first piece we played is from Guinea, West Africa. It's a song where the people are saying, "Come out, the river is moving with fish." And so once a year, when the river starts to go down and leave a lot of ponds, the fish get packed into a smaller and smaller space, and the fishermen get to take a lot of fish out all at once. But they have to ask permission of the elders before they do this, because the elders, of course, know we can't overfish. We can't take all the fish for our own, satisfaction. We need to leave some. So the music keeps us connected to the earth, to natural cycles, and to our own natures. And so we honor this music and we honor this culture that is so old and so deep and so powerful. We know that we're not African. We're mostly white people in the United States, but we play the music with as much respect and honoring as we can of the culture that it comes from. There's something about rhythm that is a natural organizing principle in the universe. And when we play together, there's a coherence that comes forward. And coherence is something that creates harmony, and it creates togetherness, whereas incoherence creates chaos. There's a place for both of those, but of course we're naturally attracted to something that's cohering and aligning and harmonizing, and like you said, bringing people together.
Beautiful. Well, we so appreciate you being with us today and helping us celebrate. Thank you so much. We're glad that you're our special guest today.
Thank you.
We love to connect with you. I think we've been together for 18 years. You've been coming to City of Light and sharing the wonderful rhythms of celebration and drumming, and the powerful message of us coming together as a community. Thank you so much.
It's our honor to be here with you.
Great. Thank you. I'd like to share with you a few announcements of special things that are taking place here at City of Light. And as I do, I'm inviting those of you who are gathered here to share in our Do Unto Others offering. Our Do Unto Others offering for this month is continuing to reach out to the Dr. Angelo Pizzello expansion of the Wisdom Center. We're expanding our Wisdom Center, which is one of America's largest lending metaphysical libraries. It is offering the opportunity for people to come together to study, to engage in spiritual study and metaphysical books. It's a great opportunity for clergy from all around the city to come check out books to enhance their spiritual work. It's a powerful opportunity for people to learn together. Over 4,000 volumes are available to be checked out in the lending library, and we're growing. In fact, we're growing so much that we're expanding the Wisdom Center now to 3 times the size. We've torn down walls. We're preparing for the final renovations, carpet to be laid and painting. Your support of this great cause will enable us to accomplish our goal of expanding this Wisdom Center and providing a great opportunity for spiritual enrichment. Thank you so much for your generous giving. For those who have gathered here, if you place your gift in the basket, we appreciate it. And for those who are joining us through live streaming, if you'll go to our website at www.cityoflightatlanta.com, you can make your donation there. We greatly appreciate it. Now, coming up, we've got some great classes this week. We've got a class on Tuesday night that continues on the book, The Neville Reader. The Neville Reader is a collection of essays by Neville Goddard. We're continuing to dig deeper and deeper into this study. He is so powerful. I'm writing on the essence of imagination and how it enhances our spiritual life. I know you'll love this class, so tune in 7 p.m. for our live streaming of this exciting class coming to you from the Emerson Institute here at City of Light. Thursdays, we're offering a class on the basic principles of science of mind. If you're wanting to learn more about the power of science of mind and how it unfolds in our lives, this is a great class for you to tune into. Join us at 10 a.m. on our Facebook page, whether it be the City of Light Facebook page or my personal page, Timothy Paul Gerald Gretz. You can tune in there and you can connect with us. Also, we're offering these classes through our YouTube page. Our YouTube page is City of Light Atlanta. And you can connect with us and look at all the different classes, worship experiences, workshops, etc. that have been videoed over the past months or so. You can find them all library there and tune in and connect with us through this vehicle. We also appreciate your generous giving. Your support has made the world of difference during this time of COVID-19. During this pandemic, when so many of us are distant from each other, we've been connected through this live streaming program. And we so appreciate your generous support of the work that we're doing. You've enabled us to reach out to people all across the world. People from the Philippines are tuning into our classes. We're enjoying people from Egypt and Bangladesh, from China, all tuning in, as well as all across the United States. We're pulling the world together in this opportunity of sharing great insight in the New Thought journey and helping people to understand the power of the presence of God within their lives. We also want to say thank you for keeping in touch with us and checking out our Facebook page for great announcements, updates, and helping us to just stay more and more connected. As your pastor, I am so passionate about building this community the best we can. We want to continue to stay in touch with you week after week. We want to know that we're praying for you and that we are sending lots of love out in relationship with you. Thank you so much. Now we invite you to join once again in celebration with the Emerson drummers as they come to share another song of great celebration. Now, if you feel like getting up, standing up and getting your groove on, moving along, you're more than welcome to do so. At home, whether you're in your kitchen, in your bedroom, living room, wherever it may be, dance along as we celebrate with these great rhythms, calling us together as a great community.
Let's take this time now to go into prayer. All right. Whew. Let's know this together, that there truly is only one power, one presence, one creative cause, one substance. And we call this power God, or the divine, or creator, source. It goes by many different names around the globe as people try to relate to it from where they live, such as Allah, Yahweh, Buddha, Krishna, Jehovah. We just open up right here and right now with everyone in prayer in this sacred holy moment all across the globe. And as we join in with them, we realize that there is a power for good at hand, and we are here to use it. There is no place it is not, and there is nothing it cannot accomplish. And so we claim this power right here, right now, by our heart's desire. Our heart's desire is our gift to the planet, but it's actually God's gift through us to the planet. We are here on purpose at this time. We are here to share our gifts. We are here to live through the transformation that is occurring right now as we speak. And so we gratefully and confidently call on that which is within us to come forward now and to help heal the planet. Whatever it is within us, it can come forward. There are no yet buts. There is no difficulty in God. There is no idea that's not an already fully formed manifestation in the mind of God. And so we give our attention to that. We know the time is right. We know the time is now. We know we are here on purpose, and we call it out. We call it out knowing the universe responds to us. And in our faith, we claim it is done, it is so. Everything we need to do is before us, and we only need to take the first step in faith. And so I let these words go now. They have been spoken into a law that never returns unto me void, as together we say, and so it is. Now we'd like you to rest and listen as Scott Dunn, our pianist, plays the Lord's Prayer. Feel free to sing along if you're at home.
Thank you so much, Scott, and thank you to the Emerson drummers and to David Bavay, our musicians. Thank you to all who are joining together in our auditorium today, all social distancing and complying with all of the restrictions for COVID-19. We're delighted to have everybody with us, and a special thanks goes out to our media team. I appreciate you so much with your work that you're doing to enable us to reach out to so many. Now, I hope you're living in the power of expectancy, because that's been our theme for this entire year. We've been living in expectancy, for that which you believe and expect to be so is truly what will be your reality. If you expect it, if you're in that spirit of expectation, it opens the doors. It is that which then that you are assuming and believing to be so that unfolds for you in the journey of your life. This past week, I had a real experience with the very law of expectation. That law that says, as you believe, as you expect, so it is. Well, I went to purchase a new car. Now, my car, 2004 Mercedes, well, she bit the dust this past week. That's right, having some electrical problems. The mechanic said, you know what? I'm afraid to tell you this, that the repairs on the electrical system on this car are going to be greater than the current value of the car. So the best thing is for you to just tow it away. And that meant I needed to go out and look for a new car. So I began to look online and was shopping for some cars, holding in mind the highest and best unfolding for me. Well, I began to believe that, just said, you know what, all things are working together for good. I'm not worried. I'm not stressed. Everything's going to fall into place beautifully. So I began to look at a particular car model and holding in mind, thinking this is exactly what I'd love to have. Began to visualize it and began to hold in mind that this is the kind of car I'm going to find as I go out car shopping, and I'm going to be able to locate exactly what I need, and it'll just come together perfectly. That was my expectation. Now, coupling with that was the feeling, because I'm a firm believer that when we are specific about what we desire for God to unfold, what we desire for the universe to unfold within our lives, that it's really being specific about the feeling. About the feeling about this automobile versus the material item. Oh yes, the certain model and certain make of a car I held in mind that would be nice, but it really described or it was a symbol of the feeling of transportation, having something that would be reliable, something that felt comfortable, something that I felt was affordable, something that I could truly take care of, all these feelings that began to summarize exactly what I was expecting to find. When we arrived at the dealership, well, I was looking at this certain model, and I thought this is certainly what I'm holding in mind and I'm expecting to purchase. But when I sat in the vehicle, I didn't have the feeling. Like, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. Something's not quite coming together. We sat in another model, and oh no, this doesn't quite seem right either. And we began to think, well, wait a minute, this is exactly what I was thinking, but it's not about what I'm thinking materially as much as what am I feeling? What am I expecting that I would experience? Well, the gentleman said, you know what? There are a couple other models over here that we'd love to have you look at. They are not the same a model that you've been looking for. It is something a little different. Well, let's go. And we came to another lot, and I sat in this car, and Robert and I both said, this is the car. This is the car. There was the feeling. Well, we had gone through the list of what the car offered and all of its great attributes, but sitting inside the car, there was that sense of, this is what we've been expecting. This is what we've been believing. This is exactly it. The interior was beautiful. The car was great. It was affordable. And it was just everything coming together so beautifully. You see, not holding on to a specific model in mind or material item, but holding on to the feeling brought me to the right and perfect car. Right, perfect in so many ways. Because the previous model or type of car I was looking at, the dealer said, you know, that's a very expensive car to repair. And it's going to have a lot of challenges for you. And the reason you're finding these used cars available is because the warranties have expired on all of them. So we have a lot of them. So what you've chosen is far better for you and truly meeting your needs, really above and beyond what I was asking or thinking. It's parked out in the parking lot for those of you who want to see it after the service. It is truly the manifestation of believing in the power of expecting everything to fall together good for my good. Now, here's the catch. It was wonderful to look at cars because I said, you know what, unfortunately, I'm here to browse, to look, but I'm not able to purchase today because on Monday, I'm closing on the refinancing of my house. And I really can't disturb this process. I've got to wait until this is all finished. So I know I need a vehicle, and I know I'm without transportation now, but I just can't finalize this deal. But could you hold the car? He says, better than yet, I'll let you drive it off the lot. What? You can drive it off the lot, just simply put down a little bit of money on it, and it's yours, and you can come back next week after the house is closed and the refinance is all done, and we'll settle up all the paperwork, and everything will be completed. Wow. In the law of expectation, there is room for this or something better. This or something better as we live out our lives. So often we may get caught up in the specifics of a material item, but being open to say, what is the feeling that which I truly desire in my life? When I work with that specifically and naming, this is how I want to feel, the universe brings to us exactly that which we desire, and it fits perfectly, and everything comes into alignment for us. You know, you get what you expect to be. Now, how many of you have been expecting today to be a dynamic service? Well, if you've come in the spirit of expectation, that's what you're receiving. All the joy of celebration, all the wonderful aspects of community coming together in this drumming, coming together to celebrate so many powerful things of an anniversary, a great past, a wonderful present, and a glorious future. Celebrating all of this together, well, if you've expected it, that's what's unfolding for you even now. Let me take you back to a time in ancient history, to a story found within the ancient truth of the scriptures. A familiar story I'm sure that all of you know. The story of David and Goliath. David facing a great adversary, a tall giant. This nation of Israel in fear and trepidation, wondering as the giant called out, send me someone, send me one person and we'll go to battle, rather than each nation going to battle with each other. But it will be the one who is the victor. That nation will be a slave or servant to the other. The one who is the victor will be the one who claims and says, our nation will be the number one and you will be the slave. And so Israel, all of Israel, the mighty army said, whoa, wait a minute, wait. I don't have the expectation. I don't think I'm possible, strong enough, mighty enough. I don't know if I could destroy the giant. David, the little shepherd boy, walks in with a high level of expectation. High level of expectation. In fact, he just says, I don't need all this armor. I don't need all of these things that you may normally use in battle. I just need a stone and my slingshot. And with the one stone, he destroys the giant. How? In the law of expectation. Expecting, believing, assuming. The law of expectation unfolding in great might for him. And it is the beautiful story of how the law of expectation operates within our lives and our world. But you may say, wait a minute, aren't we taught to lower our expectations? Don't have expectations too high because you're going to be disappointed. We're thinking in our physical world, it's better to just not expect hardly anything at all and be pleasantly surprised if something good does happen. But let me tell you this, the universe will correspond with the level of expectation that you have. And we're also living in such fear. Well, what if it doesn't happen? What if it doesn't happen? That's our weak and wavering faith speaking out, saying, I don't know if I can believe it. I don't know if I can trust it. I don't know if it's really going to happen. I better lower my expectation. Let me lower it. Let me lower it again. Let me lower it even more. Let's go down really, really low. Let's expect nothing. Let's expect that nothing's going to happen. And what happens in our lives? Nothing. How true this is in our lives. So as we lower our expectations, thinking, you know what, maybe I don't deserve, or maybe it's God is withholding withholding, or maybe it's not going to happen for me, or maybe it's not the right perfect plan for my life. So I just lower my expectations, thinking constantly over and over again, less, 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 less. Let's just not expect anything. But the law of expectation says that which you expect to be so will be so. So when we embrace this spiritual law, this is a very promise that as we step out in faith with great expectation, it is matched. The very energy is there within us. For we move forward, not beyond, we move toward, I should say, but not beyond what we can imagine, what we hold in mind. We're going to move toward it, but not beyond the level of our imagining. So if you're saying, well, I don't expect anything, I'm not really hoping for anything, I'm just lowering those expectations. We move toward, but we don't move beyond that level of the great imagination. We say, wait, I'm expecting incredible things. I'm believing, I'm assuming, I am knowing that the power of God is at work here, now, in this moment, unfolding for my highest and best. You see, it's all about our outlook. There's this wonderful poem that says, two men looked through prison bars. One saw mud, the other saw stars. It's all about how you choose to look at life. What you see depends upon where you choose to look, and where you look depends upon what you expect to see. Now, if you're expecting not much, you may not be looking in the places and in the ways and looking with eyes wide open to the highest and best of your life. Here's an example. I find a lot of people will say, I don't believe so-and-so can be trusted, or I don't believe this can be trusted. And so because of this, they look through a filter of their view on this world with expectation. And what happens is they find evidence to support it because they're looking for these things. This can't be trusted. This is not going to work out. My partner, Robert, was in interior design work. And he would find clients who'd say, every piece of furniture that comes delivered to my house always has a scratch, always has a flaw. There's something always wrong. And that was their expectation. It got to be so that we just knew that person was going to be expecting a flaw, that we said, we better make sure there's a flaw there because it seemed like that was the high level of expectation. And because they believed it to be so true and their expectation was so high, they began to analyze every little thing and finding a thread or a little scratch underneath a piece of furniture or whatever it may be, because they expected it to be so. And that's where they were looking. That's where they chose to have their eyes viewing and expanding and looking on the very areas of saying, I just don't believe. I have the assumption. I expect less than. So what happens is by expanding our beliefs about what is possible, we can change our experience in this life. We can expand, we can grow, we can stretch to things being larger in our beliefs. What is possible can change within our very journey of our day-to-day experience by expanding the beliefs to say, I expect something great. I expect something wonderful unfolding for me even now. The story of David and Goliath. Hitting the giant with the stone was really easy. But the challenge was really all about the negative beliefs that hold people back. I believe there probably were others in that Israeli army of the story of that day and age who probably could have destroyed the giant, who could have gone to battle, or maybe were also good with a slingshot and a simple stone. But what they lacked was the belief. The negative beliefs began to overpower them. I don't think I can. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's going to happen for me. I am expecting failure. And you know what? That's what their greatest challenge was, to overcome these negative fears. So we must start by creating some expectations. Creating some expectations within our life. Before you can do it, you have to believe it. Okay? So let's just say, for example, you're praying for rain. Did you bring an umbrella? Well, if you're expecting rain and you're praying for rain and that's your belief system and you're believing for rain to happen, Why wouldn't you be carrying an umbrella? But so many people, I'm praying for rain, and I want to say, what's your expectation? And how are you living this expectation out? If you're believing for a job, you need to begin by writing your resume and preparing your interview outfit. Because this then says, I am expecting the job offer to come. I am getting ready. I am in preparation. I'm living the law of expectation of that which I believe to be so is unfolding for my life. How about this? You're believing for a relationship. Well, you need to prepare for your life partner. How about cleaning out a few drawers or some closet space to get ready? To say, I am prepared. I am ready for my life partner, for this spouse to come into my life, because I am believing and expecting it so. I've done everything I can to prepare. Remember the old-fashioned hope chest? Remember where young ladies used to acquire things and have a little bit of a dowry? It was all in great expectation. Expectation that they would start collecting and setting things aside because they knew that one day they were going to enter into a wonderful relationship, a marriage. There was the power of expectation placed in that, creating that hope chest. How about you? What are you expecting? Are you expecting something? Then how are you demonstrating the law of expectation in your life? Because if you're expecting it, then your actions need to complement, work with, or be respective of that which you're believing to transpire within your life. So really, when we look at this, the law of expectation is every positive thought is a prayer, and every prayer is answered. Wow, every prayer is answered. Well, if you're expecting, if you're believing, if you're assuming it to be so, every positive thought is a prayer, and every prayer is answered because you're expecting it so. So your heart is wide and open. Your eyes are illuminated to understand the spiritual work that's taking place, even in the midst of the moment of your great faith being expressed within your life. For the law of expectation reminds you of your inherent power to shape your life through the images and expectations that you create. Now, the trouble is, we've got a lot of things that sometimes we need to just clean out to create the greater, shall we say, flow, or to allow the expectations to rise within our life. I'd like to suggest that you do a little doubt inventory. That means taking a moment to just write out all the doubts you have that are holding you back from the law of expectation going into work in its fullness. So claim those doubts, speak those doubts, name those doubts. In all ways, just begin to maybe shout those doubts, whatever you may be. I'm doubting because of this, or I don't believe because of that, and I need to name them, because what we need to do is uproot them. That's right. We're pulling them out of the garden of our mind. We need to do a little weeding. We got to get these doubts out because they're holding us back from our power of expectation working to its full extent. Were those who had gathered believing for the ability to create the first airplane, those scientists, those inventors who've gotten together, began to think about this. Well, there was a lot of doubts that they had to deal with. One is, gravity is pretty evident in our world. And we're going to fly working against gravity, and people would say, wait a minute, gravity is going to pull you down. How will you soar into the clouds? How will you fly? Do you understand? Well, they had to address that negative doubt. They had to address the very things that were happening within the physical. And the inventors of the first plane had to banish all doubts to be able to move forward in their very plans and their ideas. Because otherwise they would have said, you know what? It's just not going to happen. And we expect it not to happen. Because what we're seeing here in the physical realm is that gravity is too powerful to even overcome. So let's just give up and go home. But there were those who said, let's banish this. Let's let go of this doubt. Let's just take a doubt inventory. Write these things down. Yes, there's gravity, but we can overcome it. Yes, there's this, but we can overcome that. Yes, we can, man wasn't born with wings, but we know how to create all that is necessary for the plane to fly. So let's remove these doubts by creating a list and naming them, then denying them. That's pulling up those weeds, pulling up the weeds. Uproot those. Saying, you know what? The power of God in me, through me, around me is greater than this. Why am I allowing this fear to keep me from expecting my highest and best? Why am I allowing these doubts to diminish the power of my believing? For the work we do is replacing self-defeating doubts with vivid images. Vivid images and creating new beliefs with clear intentions. I now see myself a success. I see myself in this way. I see my experience unfolding in this way. I see it and I hold in mind the clear vision of what it is that I'm expecting to believe. But we must have this expectation in full power and strength within our lives, because let me tell you this, the expectation will attract the evidence. It's going to attract everything that you need to unfold. I went out to buy a car with great expectation, believing it to unfold for me, believing that even in the midst of what may seem a challenging time, and to say, you know what, you really can't buy today, but I know that the Spirit is working out for me for my highest and best. And I expect that. I expect everything to fall together beautifully. And when we live in that expectation, it begins to attract all the evidence of that which you desire to unfold in your life. For the law of expectation teaches us that what we focus on expands. And in today's world, we've got a lot of people who are simply focusing on the problems and not the solutions. So we're focusing on the problems and we're talking about the problems, and they are expanding because we're giving great energy to them. But what if we make a switch and we put all of our energy into a focus on solutions? That what we're going to just hold in mind is that the answer is there, or the answer is coming, the answer is unfolding, and I expect to experience the solution. I expect to experience the answer unfolding within my life. So what it is so important for us to grasp is this word focus, focus, focus. Where is your focus? Is it on the sense of it can't be so, or is it on the sense of it can be so? You see, this is the unfolding of this powerful law of expectation within our life. Now, today, we're celebrating these wonderful anniversaries. I look back and think, 4 years in this great facility. This facility of 36,000 square feet that has been a dynamic spiritual center in the city of Landa for the last 4 years, bringing together all kinds of exciting workshops, classes, teachers, counselors, therapists, life coaches, and on goes the list coming together. Seeing over 1,000 people come through our doors during the week in all kinds of exciting programming. We look back and think, wow, the power of expecting dynamic things to unfold became our reality. And we're celebrating 4 years. During this pandemic, we're excited about all the things that are unfolding for us through multimedia, through live streaming. All kinds of new possibilities are unfolding for us because we're living in the realm of expectancy, and that this building is serving the greater purposes of the vision that we have. We're celebrating 5 years of Emerson Institute, celebrating the wonderful teaching that's being offered and the opportunity for people to achieve goals of a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate of spiritual studies. We're loving the fact that people are auditing classes from all around the world, and we're celebrating the opportunity to share spiritual truth in dynamic new ways. We're excited to say that we have been 6 years part of the affiliated New Thought Network, a network of congregations, spiritual communities coming together to share resources with one another, to help and lift and uphold one another, to hold in wonderful consciousness the highest and best is unfolding for everyone. And there's not a sense of competition. There's not a sense of who's better or who's less than. It's this wonderful sense of the highest and best for unfolding for everyone. It's a powerful network. We love celebrating this connection that we have. And then, of course, can you believe it? You're 48 years old. That's right. City of Light, you look fantastic for 48. And you may have a little wrinkles around the edges, but you know what? You're looking fine because this ministry has been a viable ministry sharing the message of compassion, inclusion, and empowerment for 48 years in the city of Atlanta. I wonder what those founding members thought as they gathered for the very first Sunday, as they came together. What was their level of expectation? Did they expect it to be that we would arrive where we are today in the year of 2020? Did they expect the type of unfolding of goodness and belief and faith, the empowerment and the spirit of inclusion to expand and grow? The wonderful compassion of feeding the hungry and the homeless and weekly meals providing for those in need, food bank program, clothing closet, and on goes the list of compassion outreach. I wonder if their expectation was that high. I have to believe that they set the foundation saying, I believe all things are possible and great things are in store. Because that foundation must have set then in order all the things that we're experiencing today. But as we celebrate this anniversary, I want you to know that our work is not over. It's time for us to create a fresh vision of who we intend to become and to live it in the law of expectation. We expect more. We expect greater. We expect the unfolding of even greater things than what we've already experienced. And some of us would say, wow, I'm almost exhausted because the goodness of God has unfolded in so many dynamic ways. It's been miracle after miracle. And we have to change our word from miracle to normal after normal, because that's how God has unfolded for us in the miraculous. Each year we take time to look back at stories of how God has blessed and made a way when there seems to be no way. And that's the law of expectation. That we just say, well, even though the world may say there's no way, there is no way, we press forward and we believe that God is making the way when there seems to be no way. The law of expectation is really illustrated for us as the children of Israel stood on the edges of the Red Sea, knowing that Pharaoh was behind them. They had just left in Exodus from Egypt, moving out into their liberation and their freedom, but standing at the water's edge of the depths of the Red Sea, thinking, how are we going to cross? How is this going to happen? There is no boat. There's no bridge. There's no pathway for us. But what did they do? They moved forward in expectation. And invited to walk into the waters begin to part, and a way was made for them as they began to move in this law of expectation. So here we are celebrating an anniversary. What will the next 48 years look like? What are the next 5, 6, 7 years going to look like as we begin to expect even greater things unfolding for us in our life? It will be as we expect. It will be as we assume. It will be as we believe. So I invite you to join with me in the power of believing and expecting. Financial blessing, financial provision, that we may continue to operate in the level of abundance that God has intended for our lives. That we may constantly expect and believe that we're going to expand ministries, do more, touch more lives than ever before, and empower people through this wonderful message of the power of God unfolding in unique and special ways in people's lives. And the compassion programs that we offer and the teaching programs we offer, they're expanding. I see them now. For even as we are tearing down walls in the Dr. Angelo Pizzello Wisdom Center, we are doing so with great expectation that we will complete the project in a timely fashion, and that will open the doors for incredible ministries to unfold. Wow, we have a lot to celebrate. Coming up, a lot more to celebrate, because we're living in the law of expectation. Today, I invite you to embrace that law. It's a very promise. It is a very promise that is brought about through the power of our believing, assuming it's so, the power of expectation within your life. I invite you to join with me in expecting great things. I'm believing for something amazing for you. I'm expecting to hear your stories as you call, email me, text me, whatever it may be, sharing this week. God has unfolded amazing things. Doors have opened. That which I believe for is mine, and even this or something better unfolding for me. Let's believe together. The law of expectation is at work even now. Amen. I am so delighted that you join with us today, and that this time we've shared together has been filled with such energy, enthusiasm, and celebration. I invite you now to share your spirit of gratitude in a tangible way through the gifts that you can share in an offering. Those of you gathered in our sanctuary, if you'd be so kind as to offer your gifts in the basket placed over here on the table. While others joining us through live streaming, we appreciate your faithful giving and your demonstrations of gratitude for City of Light and its ministries. You can go to www.cityoflightatlanta.com, and there you can make your donation, offering your gifts. We so appreciate it. We know that as you do, you are living in the power of abundance. So I invite you now to join with us as Scott Dunn shares an offertory celebrating the power of generosity within our lives and celebrating the awareness and expectation of God's power in us. Thank you so much, Scott. Let's join together in this closing song that has been a tradition for us here at City of Light. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins in me. It's working through me at all times. As we seek peace in our world today, it's full of all kinds of challenges. We know that that peace begins right here within us. And if we expect peace to flow through the world around us, then we must expect ourselves to be that instrument of peace. And knowing that the peace that we unfold, that we share with one another, only goes forth multiplying in dynamic ways. You at home, join with us in singing. Those of you here, hum along as we look at this chorus and let it affirm within our hearts. Yes, there is peace on earth. And yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as my center, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, this pray together. This we know to be our truth, a truth that resounds through the ages, the truth that there is one power and one present, and it is always with us, never leaving nor forsaking us. That power and presence is filled with wisdom and guidance, and we center ourselves in it right now. Feeling that sense of being one with all that is of the divine, we proclaim with great authority and great expectation that this is a week of unfolding the highest and best. We're expecting all kinds of goodness to unfold, whether it be through healing or relationships, whether it be through seeking peace in a world of turmoil, whether it be seeking prosperity or success in our individual lives. Whatever form, we claim it with great expectation, assuming and believing it so. And as we do, we know that that law goes forward and brings forth to us that which we desire, that which we expect, that which we believe is to be so, which we believe to be true. So with gratitude now, we release all of this, proclaiming together in the law of expectation, all things are working together for good. No matter what the circumstance may be, God is making a way when there seems to be no way. So we release this now as our truth, as together we say, and so it is. Take each moment and live each moment in peace eternal. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it is with me. We want to continue this celebration as we close out today's service, as the Emerson drummers come at this time and drum us out into the world with the rhythms of celebration that ignite this power of expecting something great unfolding in our lives. God bless you. I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Let's listen to the Emerson drummers.